Hello, fifth graders. Today is Wednesday, April the 1st. Let's start out with our math class by answering a few expressions. So the first expression I'm going to tell you is Nia put her two new stuffed toys away with the other. So how would you write an expression? Nia put her two new stuffed toys away with the other 6. So we know that she has 6, and she's going to put her 2 more away. That's it. There's your expression. All right, the next one. This expression says, this problem says, the produce worker placed the apples in 12 rows. The produce worker placed the apples in 12 rows. So we know that the number is 12, and then place them into 12 rows. All right, the next one, the next expression. Sue ate 2/8 of a pizza, and Al ate 1/4 of the pizza. So how much pizza do they eat all together? You would add those. Now, as a review, let's go ahead and review how we add these. We check our denominators. Are they the same? No, they are not. So we have to make them the same. Well, how do we make the denominators the same? We have to either simplify this 8 into 4 or make the 4 go up to 8. Let's start over here, make the 4 go up to 8. So what are the common, if we multiply numbers, what are the 4 times 1 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to say times 2 equals 8. All right. When we multiply on the bottom, we need to multiply on the top. So now we have 2 8s plus, I'm going to scratch that out to show you, plus 2 8s. So 2 8s plus 2 8s equals 4 8s. Are we finished? No, we are not. We need to simplify. Well, what are the common factors? What is the greatest common factor of 4 8s? The greatest common factor is 4, because they're both divisible by 4. So then our answer is 1/2. Now also, you should remember that 4 8s is 1/2. So that's pretty simple. Okay, and the last expression for today that I want to review with you guys is this one. Andre spent $5 of his savings. $5 of his savings. Do we know how much money he had? No, we do not. So we know his savings, and he spent, that's subtraction, $5. And because it's money, I have included a dollar symbol and the decimal. All right, and that's all your warm-ups for today. So go ahead and let's check last night's homework and get that out. Okay guys, last night's homework was 249 and 250. So I'm going to go ahead and let you check this here. So pause the video and go through and see how you did. Make sure that you included your feet, your inches, your feet, your yards, your inches as you were writing those out. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to the answers on this page. They're kind of hard to see. Autofocus. Oh, it's blurry. All right. If you have any questions, let me know. And don't forget, there are some videos on Khan Academy to help you understand and review it if you need some more help. Thanks. Okay. So before we move on to your work for today, I want to review something with you. Every single triangle equals 180 degrees, the measurement when you add that up. So if a triangle, well, all triangles have three angles, angle A, angle B, and angle C, and the whole sum, if the sum is 180 degrees, when we add those up, then what is each angle worth? Well, there's 3 angles and the total is 180 degrees, so we can divide to find out. So 180 divided by 3. Do your magic 0 just for a moment. How many times does 3 go into 18? 60. So our answer is each angle is 60 degrees because angle A is 60, angle B is 60, and angle C is 60 for a total of 180 degrees. So triangle A, B, and C is 180 degrees, and each angle is worth each angle is 60 degrees. All right, let's do another one. Remember, if the whole triangle adds up to equal 180 degrees, what happens if we have a right triangle? Now, a right triangle has 90 degrees. The little square oh, you can't see it. The little square reminds us that it's a right angle at 90 degrees. So remember, we'll do angle A, B, and C, angle A, angle B, angle C, and the whole thing is 180 degrees. Well, we know one of the angles. We know that the right angle is worth 90 degrees. That's angle C. That's 90 degrees. Okay, so what are the other 2 angles? Well, we can subtract 180 minus 90, which is 90 degrees. And then if we divide the 90 in half, 90 degrees divided in half means put it into 2 parts, even 2 parts. That would be 45 each. 4 times 2 is 8. Find the difference, bring down your 0, and that will be 5. So angle A will be 45 degrees, and angle B would also be 45 degrees for a total of 180 degrees. All right, so let's do one more triangle. Let's do a obtuse triangle. An obtuse triangle is where one angle measures greater than 90 degrees. It's the open, like the door is open, really wide. And it's this one here. Let's say that that angle measured 110 degrees. And this angle over here, let's say that it measured 30 degrees. So we have A, B, and C. Well, how much is C worth? Well, I don't know, but we can add them up and solve. So angle A is 110, angle B is 30, angle C is our unknown, so we're just going to put some number, and the whole thing equals 180 degrees. So we'll do 2 steps again. We'll add 110 plus 30, which is 140, and then find the difference, 180 minus 140, and our answer, our difference is 40 degrees. So angle C is 40 degrees. All right, so let's look at page 251 and 252 in our math book. Go ahead and pause it and go there now. Okay, so as a reminder, on page 251 and 252, classify angles, you can see at the top we have how their angles, triangles can be classified by their angles, but triangles can also be classified not only by their angles, but also by their sides. So triangles are classified 2 different ways, by their sides and their angles. We have acute angles, that means they're smaller than 90 degrees. A right angle measures at 90, and an obtuse angle is larger than 90. All right, so number 1 says classify the triangle as acute, obtuse, or right. Well, if we look at the triangle, we have an unknown number of 40 degrees and this here. So what does that little tiny square in the bottom mean? It means it is a right angle, and a right angle measures at what? 90 degrees. So in your blank, you're going to put it's a right triangle. And now the same thing we just did, we need to add up and find the total. Well, we know the total is 180 degrees. We need to find the missing number, the variable there. So we know that these two blanks here, so that would be 180 minus 90, that's our right angle there, and 40 here equals some number. I'm going to put the n out there to remind us that it's some number. All right, so what is 90 and 40? What is 90? If you add 90 and 40, start inside of our parentheses first. 90 plus 40 is 130. So now what is the difference between 180 and 130? The difference is 50. Now, Mrs. Daniel made a little mistake. I should have a degrees at every single one of those, because that is the way you write your degrees for math, just like they did up here. All right, so number 2 is the same, number 3 is the same, and number 4 is the same. So continue with that. And if you have a question, you can message or call me and I will help you out. All right, so let's move on to number 5. I'm going to move my camera down. Now we're going to be classifying by length of the sides. Equilateral, all sides are equal. Isosceles, only 2 sides are equal. This one is shorter. And scalene, none of the sides are equal to each other. So classify the triangle according to the length of its sides. So looking through here, let's look at the number 5. 6, 5, 4, and 6, or 4, 5, 6. Are the sides equal? Are 2 sides equal? Are no sides equal? No sides are equal, so it is a scalene triangle. All right, number 9. Can an isosceles triangle have side lengths of 8 feet, 9 feet, and 10 feet? Isosceles, 8, 9, and 10. Isosceles, 2 sides are equal. Are 8, 9, and 10 equal? Yes or no? All right. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, we're on page 252. And it here, 11, 12, and 13, it wants you to look at the measurements and identify the type of triangle it is. So is it going to be scalene? Is it going to be a right, obtuse, equilateral, or isosceles? So because it's given us the lengths of the sides, not the measurements, we don't know the measurements of our angle, of our triangle. So we will have to identify 11, 12, and 13 with the length of the sides. So you need to write on one of those choices need to be either equilateral, isosceles, or scalene, and that's from the front page. All right, number 14 through 17, it wants you to remember and to look to reference the sum of 3 angles, and I talked about that earlier. So with a rectangle, you go all the way around, you start back at the same point, but if it's only half of that, so if the whole way is 360 degrees, what is half of 360? It is 180. So the sum of the 3 angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. I'm going to go ahead and give you that answer as a reminder. All right. Number 18, 19, and 20. It wants you to identify the pair of congruent triangles by their angles and their sides. So using the charts on 251 on the front, how many are the angles? Figure A. Let's look at the angles in figure A. And let's look at the sides. All right. Do you see a right angle in figure A? Well, it's not drawn, but does it look like it's a right angle? Why, yes, it does, right here. So if figure A, looking at the triangle, the congruent triangles, the 2 different triangles, we would say that these 2 triangles are right angle triangles. The sides. All right, let's look at the sides. So looking at the chart, again, we're gonna, on the other side, is this side the same length as this side? Oh no, not at all. What about, do you think this side is the same length as that side? I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Because if you were to measure it, you could see the difference on there. Also, if you were to move this up straight, it would be, I think it would even be longer than that. So the sides are not the same. We have a short, a medium, and a long side. So that would be a scalene triangle. Okay, so triangle B, you're looking at your angles, your 3 angles here, and you're looking at your 3 lengths of sides. Okay, so the angles, do they look larger than 90 degrees, smaller than 90 degrees, or exactly 90 degrees? Well, I'll let you finish those two. And number 21 and 22, it wants you to draw a quadrilateral to match the statements, name the figures. So that is what you did yesterday. You are page 250, 240 and 250. All sides are equal lengths. There are no right angles. So what does that figure look like? I will remind you that that is the one that's kind of italicized. It's slanting a little bit. And so if it's slanting, and you don't have to be an artist, but slanting like this. And that's not great, but it'll look more like that. All right, and then what shape is that? What shape is that? So you need to refer to yesterday's homework and tell me what shape it is. And 22, opposite sides are parallel. So remember, opposite sides are the parallel. Opposite sides are equal length. Opposite angles are equal. So they're parallel. And I'm going to let you draw your own there. I don't want to give you an answer. All right, and then number 23, 24, and 25, it says find the measure of the unknown angle. So again, I reminded you that if you start here and you go all the way around, you know how many degrees it is. Also, it's 90, 90, 90, and 90, so you can multiply or you can find the sum. 24 is the same like you were practicing on the front. You have a 50 degrees and you have 90 degrees and an unknown. The measurement of triangles always equal 180 degrees, so you need to add and subtract to find your answer. Don't forget to put your degree marks there. And number 25, I gave you a shortcut yesterday, but also it's 360 degrees minus your unknown to find your unknown. But there is a shortcut I said yesterday, if you will notice the opposite sides. All right, so finish this tonight for homework. We will check it tomorrow. Have a good day.